Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Understanding Business 2024, Chapter 14, narrated by Omar Mohsen Ibrahim Fouad. Chapter 14, Developing and Pricing Goods and Services, page 363. Learning Objectives. After you have read and studied this chapter, you should be able to describe a total product offer, identify the various kinds of consumer and industrial goods, summarize the functions of packaging, contrast brand name, and trademark, and show the value of brand equity. Explain the steps in the new product development process, describe the product life cycle, identify various pricing objectives and strategies. Page 364. Getting to know Aaron Cross, founder and CEO of Scrub Daddy. Creating a hit product that millions of consumers love is no easy feat, especially when an entrepreneur faces a lot of rejection early on. That was the case with Aaron Cross, one who designed a polymer foam scrubber for auto shops that failed to attract any attention from his target market at the time. What eventually became the sunny, smiling Scrub Daddy began as a solution for a working person's dirty hands. Cross owned a manufacturing company called Dedication to Detail that made paint finishing systems as well as buffing and polishing pads work that often required. Cross owned a manufacturing company called Dedication to Detail that made paint finishing systems as well as buffing and polishing pads, work that often required him to operate and repair machinery. Of course, as the business owner, Cross also had plenty of paperwork to keep him busy, which he could not do with hands covered in oil and grease. The only cleaning product available, though, a slurry of lotion and rocks that roughly scrubbed out grime, was unpleasant to use. With more than 14 years of experience producing polyurethane buffing pads, Cross felt that he could use his knowledge to make the cleaning process a lot more pleasant. It turned out he was right. With the help of some highly engineered polymer foam, Cross developed a sophisticated sponge that washed his hands cleanly and comfortably. His scrubber was round and yellow, with one grooved side and two holes in the middle for easy gripping. Believing that this product had potential for wider use than just in his office, Cross decided to market the sponge to auto body shops. Not only did he have connections in the industry from his days as a car detailer, but he also figured that many mechanics with oily hands might prefer to use his scrubber. Cross's instincts were wrong in this case, however, as auto shop owners dismissed the sponge as non-essential and overpriced. Forced to admit defeat, Cross threw away his yellow polymer foam in a box marked scrap and went on with his life. The years went by and Cross sold his company and all of its assets to 3M, leaving him with only a few boxes of items considered to hold no value. One of these containers kept the long discarded scrubber, which made an unexpected reappearance in Cross's life as he was cleaning some lawn furniture. After he scratched the paint using a traditional dual-sided sponge, Cross suddenly remembered the old foam that was now sitting in a box in his garage. The forgotten product worked perfectly, scrubbing off dirt without leaving any scratches. Cross also noticed that the sponge grew more rigid in cold water, which gave it more scrubbing power. He then tested its abilities on his dirty dishes and was delighted to discover that it worked just as well in the kitchen as his backyard. Certain of this product's potential, Cross began working on the idea again and came up with a crucial new feature to his design. He added a spoon-shaped smile to go with the round sponge's two eye holes, creating a friendly face that also served as a convenient way to clean utensils. He called his creation the Scrub Daddy and began marketing it heavily, gaining local media coverage that soon led to a famous appearance on ABC's Shark Tank. The television show's panel of investors engaged in a bidding war over Scrub Daddy, with Cross ultimately choosing to make a deal with the inventor and entrepreneur Lori Grainer. The resources from this partnership and the exposure from the show caused Scrub Daddy sales to explode. By 2019, the company had earned more than $200 million in total sales. Scrub Daddy's popularity has climbed even higher in the years since, thanks in large part to the product's prominence on TikTok. By using the platform to demonstrate Scrub Daddy's unique cleaning capabilities, the company has converted millions of social media users into loyal customers. Scrub Daddy also recently brokered a deal with Unilever to reach even more consumers across the globe. Not too bad for a product that spent a few years in the trash before its potential was fully realized. Scrub Daddy now earns more than $100 million annually, thanks to the persistence of its founder. Like Aaron Cross, the entrepreneurs who command the business world are innovators. Like Aaron Cross, the entrepreneurs who command the business world are innovative pioneers. In this chapter, you'll learn all about how entrepreneurs develop and price new products and services. You will also learn about packaging, branding, and other elements of a total product offer. Sources: Kennedy Rose, Scrub Daddy found fame on Shark Tank. Now it's using TikTok stardom to grow to $100 million in sales. Philadelphia Business Journal, bizjournals.com, bizjournals.com, February 21st, 2022. Katie Krasasik, Scrub Daddy's CEO, says the brand's more edgy TikTok presence is paying off. The Philadelphia Inquirer.com, April 20th, 2022. Selena Barrientos, Shark Tank, TikTok declares this $4 product Lori Greiner invested in is the best thing ever. Good Housekeeping, goodhousekeeping.com. February 4th, 2022. Ben Gilbert, Scrub Daddy CEO, only sleeps like 3 hours per night because he's reading all the viral brand's social media comments. Business Insider, businessinsider.com, April 21st, 2022. Lisa Ducart, Scrub Daddy looks to clean up with Unilever partnership. Philadelphia Business Journal, bizjournals.com, January 30th, 2023. Scrub Daddy, scrubdaddy.com, accessed March 2023. John Ziomek and USA Today Network, page 365. This company is known for giving its customers an opportunity to go out and see the sights instead of playing the waiting game in the airport. Name that company. Find the answer in the chapter. Product development and the total product offer. LO 14-1. Describe a total product offer. Global managers will continue challenging U.S. managers with new products at low prices. The best way to compete is to design and promote better products, meaning products that customers perceive to have the best value, good quality at a fair price. One of the American Marketing Association's definitions of marketing says it's a set of processes for creating, communicating, and delivering value to customers. When consumers calculate the value of a product, they look at the benefits and then subtract the cost price to see whether the benefits exceed the costs, including the cost of driving to the store or shipping fees if they buy the product online. You may have noticed many restaurants pushed value and dollar menus when the economy slowed. John Mackey, co-founder and former CEO of Whole Foods, says Trader Joe's offers customers great value every day rather than have frequent sales as many retailers do. Whether consumers perceive a product as the best value depends on many factors, including the benefits they seek and the service they receive. To satisfy consumers, marketers must learn to listen better and constantly adapt to changing market demands. Marketers have learned that adapting products to new competition and new markets is an ongoing need. We're sure you noticed menu changes at your local fast food restaurants over time. An organization can't do a single one-time survey of consumer wants and needs. Design a group of products to meet those needs, put them in the stores, and then just relax. It must constantly monitor changing consumer wants and needs and adapt products, policies, and services accordingly. For example, consumers are looking for healthier food choices today than in the past. Following customer requests for smaller portions, McDonald's offers value meals with side and drink choices. McDonald's and other restaurants are constantly trying new ideas. Are you ready to try everything plant-based breakfast sandwich at your local Pete's Coffee? Many other restaurants have gotten into the plant-based meat game. Burger King, Qdoba, and White Castle have rolled out impossible offerings, while McDonald's and Taco Bell tested beyond options. Have you noticed and tried any other fast food restaurants offering plant-based menu options? Of course, McDonald's continues to try out more new ideas. Some are successful and are then offered to the entire market. Others never make it past the test. For example, in Kokomo, Indiana, McDonald's tried using servers and more varied menu. In New York, it offered donut sticks to compete with Krispy Kreme. In Hawaii, it introduced a Spam breakfast platter, and in Columbus, Ohio, a Mega McDonald's had a karaoke booth. Testing new ideas in small markets can sometimes be more beneficial than fully releasing a product. See Connecting Through Social Media box for an example of companies finding out the hard way that their new products or ideas weren't the best, and social media let them know. Page 366. Connecting Through Social Media. When your new product isn't Insta-worthy, birdiegray.com. Many of us are guilty of spending a bit too much time scrolling TikTok, Instagram, and all sorts of social media apps throughout the day. While we tap through stories and flip through video after video, companies gather data on what its customers really want. What they don't want to find, however, is that the company's products have missed the mark and are unliked. Not all product releases are hits. Some are major flops. You've probably heard of classic flops like the Edsel, Betamax, New Coke, and Crystal Pepsi. Could you imagine if these products had been introduced today under the watchful eye of social media? They'd likely be even more legendary fiascos. Failure is always a possibility with any product release. Sometimes even when marketers listen to social media and try to deliver, the market will reject the product. Social media can lead both to the creation of a sellable product and to its public demise. Enter the now infamous Chef Carly PII, pronounced P, and her pink sauce. PII's video of her dipping a variety of foods into her bright pink sauce, like the pink pasta shown here, had the TikTok population wanting it for themselves. So PII started bottling it. Soon after, the user videos started uploading, and they weren't good news. Customer videos highlighted packaging issues, showed nutrition label mistakes and miscalculations, revealed bottles that exploded, and even exposed food poisoning cases. It was a true disaster for PII, but what social media had created and then taken away ultimately led to a rebirth. Dave's Gourmet stepped in and helped PII create a new shelf-stable pink sauce that is now in stores, including Walmart. These days, TikTokers are finding and posting a different type of pink sauce video. Buyers enjoying a product with correct nutrition calculations and not getting sick. TikTok sources: Ali Donaldson, 7 product launch fails that define 2022. inc.com. December 26th, 2022. Reshu Rathi, how user research can help you win before you launch new products and services. Entrepreneur.com. February 15th, 2023. Deirdre Funchen, Miami TikToker star Chef PII, now selling pink sauce at Walmart. Axios.com, January 31st, 2023. Miles Klee, how the pink sauce chef survived her downfall. Rollingstone.com, January 25th, 2023. McDonald's is challenging Starbucks and Dunkin' for the coffee market. What was Starbucks' answer to the new challenges? It began offering more food products, including plant-based options. The expanded menu includes Starbucks' own pastries, egg bites, protein boxes, and juices. Oatmeal has become a huge success there as well. Have you seen the various Starbucks displays beyond its own stores, like in your local supermarkets? Starbucks is reaching out to many distributors with its coffee, creamers, and drink mix products. Offerings may differ in various locations according to the wants of the local community. In Iowa, pork tenderloin is big, but in Oklahoma City, it's tortilla scramblers. Globally, companies must adapt to local tastes. At Big Boy in Thailand, you can order a beef larb rice bowl. At Burger King in Mexico, you can take the heat of Whopper Serrano. And at Shakey's Pizza in the Philippines, you can sip on a milk tea with brown sugar pearls and cheese cream boba. Product development, then, is a key activity in any modern business anywhere in the world. You can imagine what could happen when your product loses some of its appeal. Zippo lighters, for example, lost market strength as people turned away from smoking cigarettes to using e-cigarettes. Zippo therefore tried offering items such as knives, leather products, apparel, and candles. Page 367. Who would have guessed that Budweiser could someday be available from a Keurig machine? Anheuser-Busch InBev established a partnership with the coffee maker to do just that and introduced DrinkWorks in 2019. Though the home bars were discontinued in 2022, it led the way for others, like Barcy's or Cask and Kettle, to keep pouring. And who would have expected watchmakers like Piguet and Swatch, Omega and Breguet, to push jewelry in their stores? It's all part of a movement across the world to offer consumers new products and new options. Distributed product development. The increase in offshore outsourcing and alliance building has resulted in innovation efforts that often require using multiple organizations separated by cultural, geographic, and legal boundaries. Distributed product development is the term used to describe handing off various parts of your innovation process, often to companies overseas. It's difficult enough to coordinate processes within a firm, and it becomes substantially more difficult when trying to coordinate multi-firm processes. Great care must be taken to establish goals and procedures and standards before any such commitment is made. One company that has one company that has collaborated with many other firms to make innovative products is 3M Company. It has developed thousands of products from Scotch tape to Thinsulate, and many of those are embedded in other products such as the iPhone and Samsung Galaxy. Developing a total product offer from a strategic marketing viewpoint, a product is more than just the physical good or service. A total product offer, also called a value package, consists of everything consumers evaluate when deciding whether to buy something. Thus, the basic product or service may be a washing machine, an insurance policy, or a beer. But the total product offer includes some or all of the value enhancers in Figure 14.1. You may hear some people call the basic product the core product, and the total product offer the augmented product. Can you see how sustainability can be part of the augmented product? Figure 14.1, potential components of a total product offer. Price, store surroundings, guarantee, brand name, service, speed of delivery, image created by advertising, internet access, convenience, reputation of producer, buyer's past experience, package. Page 368. When people buy a product, they may evaluate and compare total product offers on many dimensions. Some are tangible, the product itself and its package. Others are tangible, the product, the producer's reputation, and the image created by the advertising. A successful marketer must begin to think like a consumer and evaluate the total product offer as a collection of impressions created by all. A successful marketer must begin to think like a consumer and evaluate the total product offer as a collection of impressions created by all the factors listed in Figure 14.1. It's wise to talk with consumers to see which features and benefits are most important to them and which value enhancers they want or don't want in the final offering. Frito-Lay, for example, had to drop biodegradable bags in the United States because they were too noisy. Who would think of such a thing when initially developing a product? Orion Production and Shutterstock. Apple, Samsung, and other smartphone makers are fighting for a greater share of the huge mobile market. Each continues to improve and add features, hoping to win customers. What features would a smartphone company have to add to its product offer in order to convince you to switch phones or carriers? What questions might you ask consumers when developing the total product offer for Harvest Gold? Recall the business idea we introduced in Chapter 13. Remember, store surroundings are important in the restaurant business, as are the parking lot and the conditions of bathrooms. Sometimes an organization can use low prices to create an attractive total product offer. For example, outlet stores offer brand name goods for less. Shoppers like getting high quality goods and paying low prices, but they must be careful. Outlets also carry lower quality products with similar but not exactly the same features as goods carried in regular stores. Different consumers may want different product offers, so a company must develop a variety of offerings, product lines, and the product mix. Companies usually don't sell just one product. A product line is a group of products that are physically similar or intended for a similar market. They usually face similar competition. In one product line, there may be several competing brands. Notice, for example, Diet Coke. There's also Diet Coke with Splenda, Diet Coke with lemon, Diet Coke with lime, Diet Vanilla Coke, and Diet Cherry Coke, just to name a few. These days, Coca-Cola is creating even more flavor options through its Coke Freestyle machines. Makes it kind of hard to choose, doesn't it? Both Coke and Pepsi have added water and sports drinks to their product line to meet new consumer tastes. McGraw-Hill Connect. I see it. Need help understanding total product offer? Click on the video for a brief animated explanation. Procter & Gamble, P&G, has many brands in its laundry detergent product line, including Tide, Era, Downy, and Gain. P&G's product lines together make up its product mix, the combination of all product lines offered by a manufacturer. Have you noticed that there are more than 300 different types of toothpastes available in stores? Do you think that is too many or not? Service providers have product lines and product mixes as well. A bank or credit union may offer a variety of services from savings accounts, automated teller machines, and computer banking to money market funds, safe deposit boxes, car loans, mortgages, online banking, and insurance. AT&T combines services, communications with goods, phones, in its product mix with special emphasis on wireless products. Product differentiation, LO 14-2. Identify the various kinds of consumer and industrial goods. Product differentiation is the creation of real or perceived product differences. Actual product differences are sometimes quite small, so marketers must use a creative mix of branding, pricing, advertising, and packaging value enhancers to create a unique, attractive image. Note the positive effect of developing brands like Peloton, Stitch Fix, and Shopify. Various bottled water companies have successfully attempted product differentiation. The companies made their bottled waters so attractive through branding, pricing, packaging, and promotion that now restaurant customers often order water by brand name. Page 369. There's no reason why you couldn't create a similar attractive image for Harvest Gold, your farm-to-table restaurant. Small businesses can often win market share with creative product differentiation. One yearbook entrepreneur competes by offering multiple wardrobe changes, backgrounds, and poses along with special allowances, discounts, and guarantees. This small business has the advantage of being more flexible in adapting the customer needs and wants, and can offer attractive product options. The business has been so successful that companies use the entrepreneur as a speaker at photography conventions. How could you respond creatively to the consumer wants of your Harvest Gold customers? Note the success that companies have had using the term organic or natural in their promotions. Marketing different classes of consumer goods and services. One popular classification of consumer goods and services has 4 general categories: convenience, shopping, specialty, and unsought. 1. Convenience goods and services are products the consumer wants to purchase frequently and with a minimum of effort, like candy, gum, milk, snacks, gas, and banking services. One store that sells mostly convenience goods is 7-Eleven. Location, brand awareness, and image are important for marketers of convenience goods and services. The internet has taken convenience to a whole new level, especially for banks and other service companies. 2. Shopping goods and services are products the consumer buys only after comparing value, quality, price, and style from a variety of sellers. Target is one store that sells mostly shopping goods. Because many consumers carefully compare such products, marketers can emphasize price differences, quality differences, or some combination of the two. Think of how the internet has helped you find the right shopping goods. Think also of how people compare prices at competing wireless carriers. 3. Specialty goods and services are consumer products with unique characteristics and brand identity. Because consumers perceive that specialty goods have no reasonable substitute, they put forth a special effort to purchase them. Examples include luxury watches, fine wines, designer clothes, upscale jewelry, imported chocolates, and services provided by medical specialists or business consultants. Specialty goods are often marketed through specialty publications. Specialty skis may be sold through sports publications, and specialty foods through gourmet magazines. Again, the internet helps buyers find specialty goods. In fact, some specialty goods can be sold exclusively online. 4. Unsought goods and services are products consumers are unaware of, haven't necessarily thought of buying, or suddenly find they need to solve an unexpected problem. They include emergency car towing services, burial services, and insurance. Page 370. Sorbus and Shutterstock. When you're in a hurry and need something quickly, convenience stores offer a variety of goods that you can get in a pinch. What convenience goods do you buy, and where do you find them? The market task varies according to the category of product. Convenience goods are marketed differently from specialty goods. The best way to promote convenience goods is to make them readily available and create proper image. Some combinations of price, quality, and service is the best appeal for shopping goods. Specialty goods rely on reaching special market segments through advertising. Unsought goods, such as life insurance, often rely on personal selling. Car towing and locksmiths rely heavily on online review sites such as Yelp. Whether a good or service falls into a particular class depends on the individual customer. Coffee can be a shopping good for one consumer, while a gourmet roast is a specialty good for another. Some people shop around to compare different dry cleaners, so dry cleaning is a shopping experience. Some people shop around to compare different dry cleaners, so dry cleaning is a shopping service for them. Others go to the closest store, making a convenience service. Others go to the closest store, making it a convenience service. Marketers must carefully monitor their customer base to determine how consumers perceive their products. Marketing industrial goods and services. Many goods could be classified as consumer goods or industrial goods based on their uses. A computer kept at home for personal use is clearly a consumer good. But in a commercial setting, such as an accounting firm or manufacturing plant, the same computer is an industrial good. West End 6-1 and Getty Images. Able Design and Jetta Productions and Blend Images and Shutterstock. Many goods could be classified as either consumer goods or industrial goods based on their uses. For example, an iPad that someone uses at home in their personal time would clearly be a consumer good. But that same iPad used in a commercial setting, such as a yarn store, would be classified as an industrial good. What difference does it make how a good is classified? Industrial goods, sometimes called business goods or B2B goods, are products used in the production of other products. They are sold in the business-to-business B2B market. Some products can be both consumer and industrial goods. We've just mentioned how computers fit in both categories. As a consumer good, a computer might be sold through electronic stores or configured by the end user online. Most of the promotion would be advertising. As an industrial good, personal computers are more likely to be sold through salespeople or online. Advertising is less of a factor when selling industrial goods. Thus, you can see that classifying goods by user category helps marketers determine the proper marketing mix strategy. Figure 14.2 shows some categories of both consumer goods and industrial goods and services. Installations consist of major capital equipment, such as new factories and heavy machinery. Capital items are expensive products that last a long time. A new factory building is both a capital item as well as an installation. Accessory equipment consists of capital items that are not quite as long-lasting or expensive as installations like computers, copy machines, and various tools. Various categories of industrial goods are shown in the figure. Page 371. Figure 14.2. Various categories of consumer and industrial goods and services. Goods and services, consumer goods and services, industrial goods and services, convenience shopping specialty, unsought, production goods, support goods, raw materials, component parts, engines, production materials, nuts and bolts, installations, buildings, equipment, and capital rentals, accessory equipment, tools and office equipment, supplies, paper clips, stationery, and other office supplies, service, maintenance, and repair. Test prep. What value enhancers may be included in a total product offer? What's the difference between a product line and a product mix? Name the four classes of consumer goods and services and give examples of each. Describe three different types of industrial goods. Packaging changes the product. LO 14-3. Summarize the functions of packaging. We've said that consumers evaluate many aspects of the total product offer, including the brand. It's surprising how important packaging can be in such evaluations of various goods. Many companies have used packaging to change and improve their basic product. We have squeezable dish soap bottles that stand upside down, square paint cans with screw tops and integrated handles, motor oil bottles with built-in funnels, single-use packets of spices, and so forth. Another interesting trend is packaging designed to evoke emotions by prompting customers to think of homemade treats. The goal is to have the customers warm feelings about the homemade product transfer to the commercial product. Peggy Jean's Pies uses jelly jars to ship its ready-to-eat pies, and cookies from Thelma's Treats come in a box. Peggy Jean's Pies uses jelly jars to ship its ready-to-eat pies, and cookies from Thelma's Treats come in a box resembling Grandma's oven. Page 372. Backbone branding. Innovative packaging can make a great product look even better, like these jam jars featuring detailed depictions of fruit. Can you think of any other food brands that use interesting packaging? In each case, the package changed the product in consumers' minds and opened large new markets. Do you sometimes have difficulty opening plastic packaging? Which packaging innovations do you like best? Can you see some market potential in developing better packaging? Packaging has even become a profession. Check out the Michigan State University School of Packaging. For example, packages must perform the following functions. 1. Attract the buyer's attention. 2. Protect the goods inside. Stand up under handling and storage. Be tamper-proof and deter theft. 3. Be easy to open and use. 4. Describe and give information about the contents. 5. Explain the benefits of the items inside. 6. Provide information on warranties, warnings, and other consumer matters. 7. Give some indication of price, value, and uses. Packaging can also make a product more attractive to retailers. The Universal Product Codes, UPCs, on many packages help stores control inventory. They combine a barcode and a preset number that gives the retailer information about the product's price, size, color, and other attributes. In short, packaging changes the product by changing its visibility, usefulness, or attractiveness. One relatively new packaging technology for tracking products is the radio frequency identification RFID chip, especially the ones made with nanoparticle power. When attached to a product, the chip sends out signals telling a company where the product is at all times. RFID chips carry more information than barcodes. Don't have to be read one at a time. Whole pallets can be read in an instant and can be read at a distance. The growing importance of packaging. Packaging has always been an important aspect of the product offer, but today it's carrying more of the promotional burden than in the past. Many products once sold by salespersons are now sold in self-service outlets, and the package has acquired more sales responsibility. The Fair Packaging and Labeling Act was passed to give consumers much more quantity and value information on product packaging. In 2016, the Food and Drug Administration (FDA) changed its requirements for the nutrition labels on food products. In addition to the serving size nutrition facts and a revision regarding in addition to the serving size nutrition facts and a revision regarding proper serving sizes, there's now a breakdown of the nutritional value of the entire package. Focus was also put more on vitamins, potassium, and the different classifications of fats in the product. Proper labeling of food products and dietary supplements has been a source of confusion for many American consumers. Not all we read on packaging may be quite what it seems or easily understood. See the Making Ethical Decisions box. Page 373. Making ethical decisions. Not all nutrition facts are factual. Consumers today, especially millennials and Gen Zers, are looking for less processed and more natural products. Consumers today, especially millennials and Gen Zers, are looking for less processed and more natural products. We want our foods to be more nutritious, free of hormones and antibiotics, and healthy. When food is labeled natural, we automatically assume it is healthy and nutritious. However, the term natural can often make our shopping more confusing. Currently, there are no federal regulations through the Food and Drug Administration (FDA) defining the word natural for manufacturers or consumers. That means some of the things we buy believing to be free of artificial preservatives or chemical compounds are not. Investigative teams have found that products like pure and 100% natural vegetable oil and natural fruit cups were produced using genetically engineered soybeans or contain potassium sorbate, an artificial preservative. The phony natural label doesn't just encompass the stuff we put in our mouths. It also covers the products we use to clean our homes, including the kitchen. Manufacturers of household cleaners are not yet required by law to list their ingredients so that manufacturers of household cleaners are not yet required by law to list their ingredients so that green cleaner you use on your countertops could be no different than the traditional spray left sitting on the store shelf. Keith Hammond and Alamy stock photo. The FDA is considering defining natural to eliminate consumer confusion and to give people the opportunity to really understand what they're buying. But in the meantime, people are left wondering if something is truly natural. What if you found a popular product you were serving at Harvest Gold wasn't as natural as you thought? Would you still sell it as is? Would you relabel it and sell it? Or would you remove it from your store? What might be the consequences of each alternative? Sources: Brooks Johnson, What the Heck is Potassium Sorbate? The Union Democrat, uniondemocrat.com. February 23rd, 2023. Carissa, owned by Food Facts, Deciphering Natural Food Labels, Illinois Farm Bureau Partners, IFFBpartners.com, accessed March 2023. Packaging may make use of a strategy called bundling, which combines goods and or services for a single price. Icelandair has bundled layover tours with an Icelandair employee stopover buddy in its total product offer. In the incredibly popular program, transatlantic passengers can opt to spend their layover experiencing the warmth and natural geothermic baths, getting up close and personal with puffins, or even witnessing the majestic northern lights instead of just sitting at the airport. Financial institutions are offering everything from financial advice to help in purchasing insurance, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and more. When combining goods or services into one package, marketers must not include so much that the price gets too high. It's best to work with customers to develop value enhancers that meet their individual needs. Branding and brand equity, LO 14-4. Contrast brand, brand name, and trademark, and show the value of brand equity. A brand is a name, symbol, or design, or combination thereof, that identifies the goods or services of one seller or group of sellers and distinguishes them from the goods and services of competitors. The word brand includes practically all means of identifying a product. As we noted in Chapter 13, a brand name consists of a word, letter, or group of words or letters that differentiates one seller's goods and services from those of competitors. Brand names you may be familiar with include Red Bull, Sony, Netflix, Levi's, GE, Budweiser, Disney, and of course many more. Brand names give products a distinction that tends to make them attractive to consumers. Amazon and Apple now reign as brand champions. We're sure you understand why. The Reaching Beyond Our Borders box discusses product names in more depth. Page 374, Reaching Beyond Our Borders. Branding, the name of the game. Heinz.com. What's in a name? Well, quite a lot actually when it comes to branding. No matter how good a product is, customers around the world will likely ignore it if they're not drawn in by a catchy name and defined brand entity. No matter how good a product is, customers around the world will likely ignore it if they're not drawn in by a catchy name and defined brand identity. For instance, would you ever drink a beverage called Brad's Drink? That's the first name pharmacist Caleb Bradham came up with for a cola tonic he concocted to combat dyspepsia. This technical term for indigestion eventually provided the source for a much better brand name, Pepsi Cola. Some names imply that there is a story behind a product, even if it's totally made up. For more than a century, consumers have believed that H.J. Heinz offered 57 different varieties of sauces, including his famous ketchup. After all, it says so right on the bottle. But that simply isn't the case. In 1896, Heinz saw an advertisement for a company boasting about their 21 different styles of shoes, which gave him a spark of inspiration. Within weeks, Heinz launched an advertising campaign touting his 57 varieties, although no one is exactly sure why he chose that particular number. Denise Mart and Shutterstock. Other companies alter their older brand names to adapt to new business models. Have you ever wondered why the popular nail polish OPI has such an unusual name? Those letters originally stood for Auditorium Products Inc. back when the company produced dental supplies. Once the company found out its dental acrylics were being used illegally to make fake nails. However, the company pivoted and started making its own acrylic nails. Now they sell about 55 million bottles of nail polish each year. Sources: PepsiCo, PepsiCo.com, accessed March 2023. Chrissy Callahan: sorry, the 57 on Heinz bottles doesn't actually mean anything. Today, Today.com. February 22nd, 2022. Karen Rapinski: the fascinating origins of 14 famous company names. Reader's Digest, RD.com. December 2nd, 2022. OPI.com, accessed March 2023. A trademark is a brand that has exclusive legal protection for both its brand name and its design. Trademarks like McDonald's Golden Arches are widely recognized and help represent the company's reputation and image. McDonald's might sue to prevent a company from selling, say, McDonell hamburgers. Did you know there once was a Starbucks? Did you know there once was a Starbucks coffee shop in China? Look closely at that name. People are often impressed by certain brand names, even though they say there's no difference between brands in a given product category. For example, even when people say all aspirin is alike, if you put two aspirin bottles in front of them, one with the Bayer label and one with an unknown name, most choose the one with the well-known brand name. For the buyer, a brand name ensures quality, reduces search time, and adds prestige to purchases. For the seller, brand names facilitate new product introductions, help promotional efforts, add to repeat purchases, and differentiate products so that prices can be set higher. What brand name products do you prefer? Page 375. Brand categories. Several categories of brands are familiar to you. Manufacturers. National brands represent manufacturers that distribute products nationally. Intel, Coca-Cola, and Nestle, for example. Dealer. Private label brands are products that don't carry the manufacturer's name but carry a distributor's or retailer's name instead. Charter, Club, and Hotel Collection are dealer brands associated with and sold by Macy's. These brands are also known as house brands or distributor brands. Many manufacturers fear having their brand names become generic names. A generic name is the name for a whole product category. Did you know that aspirin and linoleum were once brand names? So were nylon, escalator, kerosene, and zipper. All those names become so popular, so identified with the product, that they lost their brand status and became generic. Such issues are decided in the courts. Their producers then had to come up with new names. The Origin aspirin, for example, became Bayer aspirin. Companies working hard to protect Companies working hard to protect their brand names today include Kleenex and Rollerblade. Generic goods are non-branded products that usually sell at a sizable discount compared to national or private label brands. They feature basic packaging and are backed with little or no advertising. Some are poor quality, but many come close to the same quality as the national brand name goods they copy. There are generic tissues, generic cigarettes, generic drugs, and so on. Consumers today are buying large amounts of generic products because their overall quality has improved so much in recent years. What has been your experience trying generic products? Knock-off brands are illegal copies of national brand name goods. If you see an expensive brand name item such as a Louis Vuitton bag or a Rolex watch for sale at a ridiculously low price, you can be pretty sure it's a knockoff. Often the brand name is just a little off to, like, Louis Vuitton, Louis Vuitton, or Bolex, Rolex. Look carefully. Zippo has taken to calling counterfeit copies repos, generating brand equity and loyalty. A major goal of marketers in the future will be to reestablish the notion of brand equity. Brand equity is the value of the brand name and associated symbols. Usually a company cannot know the value of its brand until it sells it to another company. Brand names with high reported brand equity ratings include Reynolds Wrap, aluminum foil, and Ziploc food bags. What's the most valuable brand name today? It's Amazon, though Apple is nipping at Amazon's heels, wanting to take back the spot it held for many years. The core of brand equity is brand loyalty, the degree to which customers are satisfied, like the brand, and are committed to further purchases. A loyal group of customers represents substantial value to a firm, and that value can be calculated. One way manufacturers are trying to create more brand loyalty is by focusing on sustainability. Companies try to boost their short-term performance by offering coupons and price discounts to move goods quickly. This can erode consumers' commitment to brand names, especially of grocery products. Many consumers complain when companies drop brand names like Astro Pops or Flex Shampoo. Such complaints show the power of brand names. Now companies realize the value of brand equity and are trying harder to measure the earning power of strong brand names. Brand awareness refers to how quickly or easily a given brand name comes to mind when someone mentions a product category. Advertising helps build strong brand awareness. Established brands such as Coca-Cola and Pepsi are usually among the highest in brand awareness. Sponsorship of events like football's Super Bowl and NASCAR's Cup Series helps improve brand awareness. Simply being there over and over also increases brand awareness. That's one way Google became such a popular brand. Prisma Guitars. Prisma Guitars co-founder Nick Purford began making guitars after a skateboarding injury left him immobile for 6 months. Now his company uses old skateboard decks to create colorful and sustainable instruments. Do you own any products made out of recycled materials? Perceived quality is an important part of brand equity. A product that's perceived as having better quality than its competitors can be priced accordingly. The key to creating a perception of quality is to identify what consumers look for in a high quality product, and then use that information in every message the company sends out. Factors influencing the perception of quality include price, appearance, and reputation. Page 376. Consumers often develop brand preference. That is, they prefer one brand over another because of such cues. When consumers reach the point of brand insistence, the product becomes a specialty good. For example, a consumer may insist on Goodyear tires for their car. It's now so easy to copy a product's benefits that off-brand products can draw consumers away from brand name goods. Brand name manufacturers like Intel have to develop new products and new markets faster and promote their names better than ever before to hold off challenges from competitors. Creating brand associations. The name, symbol, and slogan a company uses can assist greatly in brand recognition for that company's products. Brand association is the linking of a brand to other favorable images, like famous product users, a popular celebrity, or a particular geographic area. Note, for example, how ads for Mercedes-Benz associate its company's cars with successful people who live luxury lives. The person responsible for building brands is known as a brand manager or product manager. We'll discuss that position next. Brand management. A brand manager, known as a product manager in some firms, has direct responsibility for one brand or product line and manages all the elements of its marketing mix, product, price, place, and promotion. Thus, you might think of the brand manager as the president of a one-product firm. One reason many large consumer product companies created this position was to have greater control over new product development and product promotion. Some companies have brand management teams to bolster the overall effort. In B2B companies, brand managers are often known as product managers. Test prep. What 7 functions does packaging now perform? What's the difference between a brand name and a trademark? Can you explain the difference between a manufacturer's brand, a dealer brand, and a generic brand? What are the key components of brand equity? The new product development process, LO 14-5. Explain the steps in the new product development process. The odds a new product will fail are high. Not delivering what is promised is a leading cause of new product failure. Other causes include getting ready for marketing too late, poor positioning, too few differences from competitors, and poor packaging. As Figure 14.3 shows, new product development for producers consists of 6 stages. Figure 14.3, the new product development process. Product development is a 6-stage process. Which stage do you believe to be the most important? idea generation based on consumer wants and needs, product screening, product analysis, development, including building prototypes, testing, commercialization, bringing the product to the market. New products continue to pour into the market every year, and new products continue to pour into the market every year, and their profit potential looks tremendous. Think, for example, of 3D printing, virtual reality, VR games and products, smartphones, tablets, and other innovations. Where do these ideas come from? How are they tested? What's the lifespan for an innovation? Let's look at these issues. Page 377. Generating new product ideas. It now takes about 7 ideas to generate one commercial product. Most ideas for industrial products come from employee suggestions rather than research and development. Research and development, nonetheless, is a major source of new products. Employees are also a major source for new consumer goods ideas. Firms should also listen to their suppliers for new product ideas because suppliers are often exposed to new ideas. Present customers are also a good source for new product ideas. For example, brewers and bar owners are focusing on healthier drinks after listening to their millennial and Gen Z customers' preference for options other than traditional beers, hard seltzers, and cocktails. This has led to the creation of new non-alcoholic beverages in stores and more cocktails in bars. Product screening. Product screening reduces the number of new product ideas a firm is working on at any one time so it can focus on the most promising. Screening applies criteria to determine whether the product fits well with present products, has good profit potential, and is marketable. The company may assign each of these factors a weight and compute a total score for each new product so that it can compare their potentials. Product analysis. After product screening comes product analysis, or making cost estimates and sales forecasts to get a feeling for the profitability of new product ideas. Products that don't meet the established criteria are withdrawn from consideration. Product development and testing. If a product passes the screening and analysis phases, the firm begins to develop it further, testing many different products, concepts, or alternatives. A firm that makes packaged meat products may develop a chicken dog, a hot dog made of chicken that tastes like an all-beef hot dog. It will develop a prototype or sample so that consumers can try the taste. Concept testing takes a product idea to customers to test their reactions. Do they see the benefits of this new product? How frequently would they buy it? At what price? What features do they like and dislike? What changes in it would they make? Crowdsourcing is a newer tool companies can use to gather this information from consumers. Crowdsourcing platforms allow the public to give their opinions of potential products companies may offer. Crowd favorites are often moved on to the next steps in the process. The firm tests samples using different packaging, branding, and ingredients until a product emerges that's desirable from both production and marketing perspectives. As you plan for Harvest Gold, can you see the importance of concept testing for new healthy dishes. Commercialization. Even if a product tests well, it may take quite a while to achieve success in the market. Take the zipper, for example, the result of one of the longest development efforts on record for a consumer product. After Whitcomb Judson received the first patents for his clothing fastener in the early 1890s, it took more than 15 years to perfect the product, and even the consumers weren't interested. Judson's company suffered numerous financial setbacks, name changes, and relocations before settling in Medville, Pennsylvania. Finally, the U.S. Navy started using zippers during World War I. Today, zippers are a nearly $18 billion industry. Page 378. The example of the zipper shows why the marketing effort must include commercialization, which includes 1. Promoting the product to distributors and retailers to get wide distribution, and 2. Developing strong advertising and sales campaigns to generate and maintain interest in the product among distributors and consumers. New products are now getting rapid exposure to global markets through commercialization online and on social media. Websites enable consumers to view new products, ask questions, and make purchases easily and quickly. The product life cycle, LO 14-6, describe the product life cycle. Once a product has been developed and tested, it goes to market. Once a product has been developed and tested, it goes to market. There it may pass through a product life cycle and 4 stages: introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. See Figure 14.4. This cycle is a theoretical model of what happens to sales and profits for a product class over time. However, not all individual products follow the life cycle, and particular brands may act differently. For example, while frozen foods as a generic class may go through the entire cycle, one brand may never get beyond the introduction stage. Some product classes, such as microwave ovens, stayed in the introductory stage for years. Some products, like ketchup, become classics and never experience decline. Others, such as fast fashion clothing, may go through the entire cycle in a few months. Still, others may be withdrawn from the market altogether. Nonetheless, the product life cycle may provide some basis for anticipating future market developments and for planning marketing. Nonetheless, the product life cycle may provide some basis for anticipating future market developments and for future. Nonetheless, the product life cycle may provide some basis for anticipating future market developments and for planning marketing strategies. Figure 14.4, Sales and profits during the product life cycle. Note that profit levels start to fall before sales reach their peak. This is due to increasing price competition. When profits and sales start to decline, it's time to come out with a new product or to remodel the old one to maintain interests and profits. Sales, all electric cars, introduction, hybrid cars. Growth, maturity, sales, smartphones, profit, decline, video cassette recorders, time. Page 379. Example of the product life cycle. The product life cycle can give marketers valuable clues The product life cycle can give marketers valuable clues to The product life cycle can give marketers valuable clues to successfully promoting a product over time. Some products, like crayons and sidewalk chalk, have very long product life cycles, change very little, and never seem to go into decline. Crayola has been successfully selling crayons for over 130 years. Mattel's Barbie is over 60 years old and is gearing up for another makeover. How long do you think popular VR games will last? You can see how the theory works by looking at the classic product life cycle of instant coffee. When it was introduced, most people didn't like it as well as regular coffee, and it took several years for instant coffee to gain general acceptance. Introduction stage. At one point, though, instant coffee grew rapidly in popularity, and many brands were introduced. Growth stage. After a while, people became attached to one brand and sales leveled off. Maturity stage. Sales then went into a slight decline when freeze-dried coffees were introduced. Decline stage. Now, freeze-dried coffee is, in turn, at the decline stage as consumers are buying bags of coffee from their favorite coffee shops and brewing them at home. It's extremely important for marketers to recognize what stage a product is in so that they can make intelligent and efficient marketing decisions about it. Using the product life cycle, different stages in the product life cycle call for different marketing strategies. Figure 14.5 outlines the marketing mix decisions you might make. As you go through the figure, you'll see that each stage calls for multiple marketing mix changes. Remember, these concepts are largely theoretical and you should use them only as guidelines. We'll discuss the price strategies mentioned in the figure later in this chapter. Figure 14.5. Sample strategies followed during the product life cycle. Marketing mix elements, life cycle stage, product, price, place, promotion, life cycle stage, introduction, growth, maturity, decline, product, offer market tested product, keep mix small, improve product, keep product mix limited, differentiate product to satisfy different market segments, cut product mix, develop new product ideas. Price, go after innovators with high introductory price, skimming strategy, or use penetration pricing. Adjust price to meet competition, further reduce price, consider price increase. Place, use wholesalers, selective distribution, increase distribution, take over wholesaling, function and intensify distribution, consolidate distribution, drop some outlets. Promotion, use dealer promotion and heavy investment in primary demand, advertising and sales promotion to get stores to carry the product and consumers to try it. Use heavy competitive advertising, emphasize brand name as well as product benefits and differences. Reduce advertising to only loyal customers. Figure 14.6 shows in theory what happens to sales, volume, profits, and competition during the product life cycle. Compare it to figure 14.4. Both figures show that a product at the mature stage may reach the top in sales growth while profit is decreasing. At that stage, a marketing manager may decide to create a new image for the product to start a new growth cycle. You may have noticed how Arm& Hammer baking soda often gets a new image every few years to generate new sales. One year is positioned as a deodorant for refrigerators and the next as a substitute for harsh chemicals in swimming pools. Knowing what stage in the cycle a product has reached helps marketing managers decide when such strategic changes are needed. Page 380, Figure 14.6, How sales, profits, and competition vary over the product life cycle. Life cycle stage, sales, profits, competitors. Life cycle stage, introduction, growth, maturity, decline. Sales, low sales, rapidly rising sales, peak sales, falling sales. Profits, losses may occur, very high profits, declining profits, profits may fall to become losses. Competitors, few, growing number, stable number, then declining, declining number. McGraw-Hill Connect, I see it. Need help understanding product life cycle? Click on the video for a brief animated explanation. Theoretically, all products go through these stages at various times in their life cycle. What happens to sales as a product matures? Test prep. What are the 6 steps in the new product development process? What is the difference between product screening and product analysis? What are the 2 steps in commercialization? What is the theory of the product life cycle? Competitive pricing, LO 14-7. Identify various pricing objectives and strategies. Pricing is so important to marketing and the development of total product offers that it has been singled out as one of the 4 P's in the marketing mix, along with product, place, and promotion. It's one of the most difficult of the 4 P's for a manager to control. However, because price is such a critical ingredient in consumer evaluations of the product, It's one of the most difficult of the 4 Ps for a manager to control, however, because price is such a critical ingredient in consumer evaluations of the product. In this section, we'll explore price both as an ingredient of the total product offer and as a strategic marketing tool. Pricing objectives. A firm may have several objectives in mind when setting a pricing strategy. When pricing a new healthy meal offering for Harvest Gold, we may want to promote the product's image. If we price it high and use the right promotion, maybe we can make it the BMW of farm-to-table meals. We also might price it high to achieve a certain profit, objective, or return on investment. We could also price our product lower than its competitors because we want customers with lower budgets, like students, to afford this healthy meal. That is, we could have some social or ethical goal in mind. Low pricing may also discourage competition because it reduces the profit potential, but it may help us capture a larger share of the market. Page 381. A firm may have several pricing objectives over time, and it must formulate these objectives clearly before developing an overall pricing strategy. Popular objectives include the following. 1. Achieving a target return on investment or profit. Ultimately, the goal of marketing is to make a profit by providing goods and services to others. Naturally, one long-run pricing objective of almost all firms is to optimize profit. One way companies have tried to increase profit is by reducing the amount of product provided to customers. Thus, cereal companies have cut the amount of cereal in a box, toilet paper companies are making their products smaller, and so on. Have you noticed this happening for products you buy? 2. Building traffic. Supermarkets often advertise certain products at or below cost to attract people to the store. These products are called loss leaders. The long-run objective is to make profits by following the short-run objective of building a customer base. 3. Achieving greater market share. One way to capture a larger part of the market is to offer lower prices. Low finance rates, like 0% financing, low lease rates, or rebates. 4. Create an image. Certain watches, handbags, and other socially visible products are priced high to give them an image of exclusivity. Certain watches, handbags, and other socially visible products are priced high to give them an image of exclusivity and status. 5. Furthering social objectives. A firm may want to price a product low so people with little money can afford it. The government often subsidizes the price of farm products to keep basic necessities affordable. A firm may have short-run objectives that differ greatly from its long-run objectives. Managers should understand both types at the beginning and put both into their strategic marketing plan. They should also set pricing objectives in the context of other marketing decisions about product design, packaging, branding, distribution, and promotion. All these marketing decisions are interrelated. Intuition tells us the price charged for a product must bear some relationship to the cost of producing it. Prices usually are set somewhere above cost, but as we'll see, price and cost aren't always related. In fact, there are 3 major approaches to pricing strategy: cost-based, demand-based, target costing, and competition-based. Cost-based pricing. Producers often use cost as a primary basis for setting price. They develop elaborate cost accounting systems to measure production costs, including materials, labor, and overhead, add in a margin of profit, and come up with a price. Picture the process in terms of producing a car. You add up all the various components, engine, parts. You add up all the various components, engine parts, body, tires, radio, camera, door locks and windows, paint and labor, add a profit margin, and come up with a price. The question is whether the price will be satisfactory to the market as well. In the long run, the market, not the producer, determines what the price will be. See Chapter 2. Pricing should take into account costs, but it should also include the expected costs of product updates, the marketing objectives for each product, and competitor prices. Demand-based pricing. Unlock cost-based pricing. Target costing is demand-based. That means we design a product so it not only satisfies customers, but also meets the profit margins we've set. Target costing makes the final price an input to the product development process, not an outcome of it. You first estimate the selling price people would be willing to pay for a product and then subtract your desired profit margin. The result is your target cost of production, or what you can spend to profitability produce the item. Nigel Jarvis and Shutterstock. Retailers around the world use sales to attract bargain hunting customers. How many different ways can marketers appeal to shoppers' desires to find the lowest price? Do online retailers adopt different pricing strategies? Page 382. Competition-based pricing. Competition-based pricing is a strategy based on what all the other competitors are doing. The price can be at, above, or below competitors' prices. Pricing depends on customer loyalty, perceived differences, and the competitive climate. Price leadership is the strategy by which one or more dominant firms set pricing practices all competitors in an industry follow. You may have noticed that practice among oil companies and some fast food companies. Break-even analysis. Before you begin selling a new sandwich at Harvest Gold, it may be wise to determine how many sandwiches you'd have to sell before making a profit. You then determine whether you could reach such a sales goal. Break-even analysis is the process used to determine profitability at various levels of sales. The break-even point is the point where revenues from sales equal all costs. The formula for calculating the break-even point is as follows. Break-even point, BEP, equals total fixed costs, FC, over price of 1 unit, P, variable costs, VC, of 1 unit. Total fixed costs are all the expenses that remain the same, no matter how many products are made or sold. Among the expenses that make up fixed costs are the amount paid to own or rent a factory or warehouse, and the amount paid for business insurance. Variable costs change according to the level of production. Included are the expenses for the materials used in making products and the direct costs of labor used in making goods. For producing a specific product, let's say you have fixed for producing a specific product, let's say you have a fixed cost of $200,000 for mortgage interest, real estate taxes, equipment, and so on. Your variable cost, like for example, labor and materials, per item is $2. If you sold the products for $4 each, the break-even point would be 100,000 items. In other words, you wouldn't make any money selling this product unless you sold more than 100,000 of them. BEP equals FC over P minus VC equals $200,000 over $4 minus $2 equals $200,000 over $2 equals 100,000 items. Other pricing strategies. Let's say a firm has just developed a new line of products, such as VR headsets. The firm has to decide how to price these units at the introductory stage of the product life cycle. A skimming price strategy prices a new product high to recover research and development costs and make as much profit as possible where there's little competition. Of course, those large profits will eventually attract new competitors. A second strategy is to price the new products low. Low prices will attract more buyers and discourage other companies from making similar products because profits are slim. This penetration strategy enables the firm to penetrate or capture a large share of the market quickly. Retailers use several pricing strategies. Everyday low pricing, EDLP, is the choice of Home Depot and Walmart. They set prices lower than competitors and don't usually have special sales. The idea is to bring consumers to the store whenever they want a bargain rather than having them wait until there is a sale. Department stores and some other retailers most often use a high-low pricing strategy. Regular prices are higher than at stores using EDLP, but during special sales they're lower. The problem with such pricing is that it encourages consumers to wait for sales, thus cutting into profits. As online shopping has grown, you see fewer stores with a high-low strategy because consumers are able to find better prices online more consistently. Retailers can use price as a major determinant of the goods they carry. Some promote goods that sell for 99 cents or for less than $5. Some of those 99-cent stores have raised their prices to over $1 because of rising costs. Five Below stores were founded in 2022 and now have 1,340 stores in 43 states selling trendy items priced between $1 and $5. Page 383. Psychological pricing means pricing goods and services at price points that make the product appear less expensive than it is. A house might be priced at $299,000 because that sounds like a lot less than $300,000. Gas stations almost always use psychological pricing. Dynamic pricing seeks to maximize profit by changing the price based on demand. Movie theaters may charge higher prices for prime seats. Sports teams may charge different prices for tickets depending on who the home team is playing. Ride-sharing services like Uber charge higher prices during peak times. How market forces affect pricing. Today, marketers are facing a pricing problem. Most customers compare prices of goods and services online. They can also get used goods online at places like Craigslist or on Facebook Marketplace. Clearly, price competition is going to heat up as consumers have more access to price information from all around the world. As a result, non-price competition is likely to increase. Imagine China and AP images. Some products are priced high to create an upscale image of exclusivity. Some products are priced high to create an upscale image of exclusivity and desirability. Jimmy Choo shoes fall into this category. What is the total product offer for a product like this? Non-price competition. Marketers often compete on product attributes other than price. You may have noted that price differences are small for products like gasoline, candy bars, and even major products such as compact cars and private colleges. You won't typically see price as a major promotional appeal on television. Instead, marketers tend to stress product images and consumer benefits such as comfort, style, convenience, and durability. Many small organizations promote the services that accompany basic products rather than price in order to compete with bigger firms. Good service will enhance a relatively homogeneous product. Danny O'Neill, for example, is a small wholesaler who sells gourmet coffee to upscale restaurants. He has to watch competitors' prices and the services they offer so that he can charge the premium prices he wants. To charge high prices, he has to offer and then provide superior service. Larger companies often do the same thing. Some airlines stress friendliness, large sleeping seats, promptness, abundant non-stop flights, and other such services. Many hotels stress no surprises, business services, gyms, and other extras. Test prep. Can you list 2 short-term and 2 long-term pricing objectives? Can the two be compatible? What are the limitations of a cost-based pricing strategy? What is psychological pricing? Page 384. Summary. LO 14-1. Describe a total product offer. What's included in a total product offer? A total product offer consists of everything consumers evaluate when deciding whether to buy something. It includes price, brand name, and satisfaction in use. What's the difference between a product line and a product mix? A product line is a group of physically similar products with similar competitors. A product line of gum may include bubblegum and sugarless gum. A product mix is a company's combination of product lines. A manufacturer may offer lines of gum, candy bars, and breath mints in its product mix. How do marketers create product differentiation for their goods and services? Marketers use a combination of pricing, advertising, and packaging to make their products seem unique and attractive. LO 14-2. Identify the various kinds of consumer and industrial goods. What are consumer goods? Consumer goods are sold to ultimate consumers like you and me for personal use. What are the 4 classifications of consumer goods and services, and how are they marketed? There are convenience goods and services requiring minimum shopping effort, shopping goods and services for which people search and compare price and quality, specialty goods and services which consumers go out of their way to get and for which There are convenience goods and services requiring minimum shopping effort, shopping goods and services for which people search and compare price and quality, specialty goods and services which consumers go out of their way to get, and for which they often demand specific brands, and unsought goods and services, products consumers are unaware of, haven't thought of buying, or need to solve an unexpected problem. Convenience goods and services are best promoted by location, shopping goods and services by some price and quality appeal, and specialty goods and services by specialty magazines and interactive websites. What are industrial goods, and how are they marketed differently from consumer goods? Industrial goods are products sold in the business-to-business B2B market and used in the production of other products. They're sold largely through salespeople and rely less on advertising. LO 14-3 summarize the functions of packaging. What are the 7 functions of packaging? Packaging must 1. Attract the buyer's attention, 2. Protect the goods inside, stand up under handling and storage, be tamper-proof and deter theft. 3. Be easy to open and use. 4. Describe the contents. 5. Explain the benefits of the good inside. 6. Provide information about warranties, warnings, and other consumer matters. And 7. Indicate price, value, and uses. Bundling means grouping 2 or more products into a unit through packaging and charging one price for them. LO 14-4. Contrast brand name, and trademark and show the value of brand equity. Can you define brand name, and trademark? A brand is a name, symbol, or design, or combination thereof, that identifies the goods or services of one seller or a group of sellers and distinguishes them from the goods and services of competitors. The word brand includes all means of identifying a product. A brand name consists of a word, letter, or group of words or letters that differentiates one seller's goods and services from those of competitors. A trademark is a brand that has exclusive legal protection for both its brand name and design. What is brand equity, and how do managers create brand associations? Brand equity is the value of a brand name and associated symbols. Brand association is the linking of a brand to other favorable images, such as product users, a popular celebrity, or a geographic area. What do brand managers do? Brand managers coordinate product, price, place, and promotion decisions for a particular product. Brand managers coordinate product, price, place, and promotion decisions for a particular product. Page 385, LO 14-5. Explain the steps in the new product development process. What are the 6 steps of the product development process? The steps of product development are 1. Generation of new product ideas, 2. Product screening, 3. Product analysis, 4. Development, 5. Testing, and 6. Commercialization. LO 14-6. Describe the product life cycle. What is the product life cycle? The product life cycle is a theoretical model of what happens to sales and profits for a product class over time. What are the 4 stages in the product life cycle? The 4 product life cycle stages are introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. LO 14-7. Identify various pricing objectives and strategies. What are pricing objectives? Pricing objectives include achieving a target profit, building traffic, increasing market share, creating an image, and meeting social goals. What strategies can marketers use to determine a product's price? A skimming strategy prices the product high to make big profits while there's little competition. A penetration strategy uses low price to attract more customers and discourage competitors. Demand-oriented pricing starts with consumer demand rather than cost. Competition-oriented pricing is based on all competitors' prices. Price leadership occurs when all competitors follow the pricing practice of one or more dominant companies. What is break-even analysis? Break-even analysis is the process used to determine profitability at various levels of sales. The break-even point is the point where revenues from sales equal all costs. Why do companies use non-price strategies? Pricing is one of the easiest marketing strategies to copy. It's often not a good long-run competitive tool. Key terms: brand association, brand awareness, brand equity, brand loyalty, brand manager, break-even analysis, bundling, commercialization, competition-based pricing, concept testing, convenience, goods and services, dealer, private label brands, distributed product development, dynamic pricing, everyday low pricing, EDLP, generic goods, high-low pricing strategy, industrial goods, knockoff brands, manufacturers, national brands, penetration strategy, price leadership, product analysis, product differentiation, product life cycle, product line, product mix, product screening, psychological pricing, shopping goods and services, skimming price strategy, specialty goods and services, target costing, total fixed costs, total product offer, trademark, unsought goods and services, value, variable costs. Critical thinking. One, what value enhancers affected your choice of the school you attend? Did you consider size, location, price, reputation, Wi-Fi services, library and research services, sports and courses offered? What factors were most important? Why? What schools were your alternatives? Why didn't you choose them? 2. What could you do to enhance the product offer of Harvest Gold? Other than changing the menu from time to time. 3. How could you use psychological pricing when making up the menu at Harvest Gold? 4. Are you impressed by the use of celebrities in product advertisements? What celebrity could you use to promote Harvest Gold? Putting principles to work. Purpose: to identify a company's total product offer. Exercise: as you read in the chapter, a product is more than just a physical good or service. A total product offer or value package consists of everything consumers evaluate when deciding whether or not to buy something. Thus, Warby Parker's basic product may be eyeglasses, but the total product offer includes several value enhancers. See Figure 14.1. Go to warbyparker.com. 1. What are at least four of the value enhancers that contribute to Warby Parker's total product offer? 2. Which value enhancer would have most influence on your buying decision? Why? 3. The Warby Parker app for mobile devices allows customers to try on frames virtually before they buy. Customers are encouraged to post photos of themselves in the glasses to social media with the hashtag #WarbyHomeTryOn. How would users' feedback influence your buying decision? Developing career skills. Key: team, analytic, communication, and technology. 1. Look around your classroom and notice the different types of shoes students are wearing. What product qualities were they looking for when they chose their shoes? How important were price, style, brand name, and color? Describe the product offerings you would feature in a shoe store designed to appeal to college students. 2. A total product offer consists of everything consumers evaluate when choosing among products, including price, package, service, and reputation. Working in teams, compose a list of factors consumers might consider when evaluating the total product offer of a vacation resort, a smartphone, and a rental apartment. 3. How important is price to you when buying the following: clothes, milk, computers, haircuts, rental cars? What non price factors, if any, are more important than price? How much time do you spend evaluating factors other than price when making such purchases? 4. Go through several local stores of different types and note how often they use psychological pricing. Discuss the practice with the class to see whether students recognize the influence psychological pricing has on them. Page 387. Career Exploration. If you are interested in working in product development and/or pricing, here are a few careers to consider. Find out about the tasks performed, skills needed, pay, and opportunity outlook in these fields in the Occupational Outlook Handbook, OOH, at bls.gov. Marketing Manager estimates the demand for a product and identifies markets as well as develops pricing strategies. Brand Manager creates and directs brand assets for a company or product. Industrial Designer develops the concepts for manufactured products for everyday use. Cost Estimator collects and analyzes data in order to estimate the time, money, materials, and labor required to manufacture a product. Video Case 1. McGraw-Hill Connect, developing an electric head-turning Mustang. Ford Motor Company is a classic American brand with a rich and storied history as one of the country's pioneering manufacturers. That's why the auto industry listened very attentively when Ford made the bombshell announcement in 2018 that it would invest $11 billion in electric cars by 2022. Like many of its competitors, Ford had previously taken the compliance route by retrofitting existing models with electric batteries to create standard issue hybrid vehicles. Then the company investigated the market to better understand what consumers were looking for, which convinced it to dive headlong into electric vehicle production. Ford developed an entirely new production method that began with the battery and built out from there to the rest of the car. The company also considered what type of vehicle should serve as the centerpiece of its new electric venture, with Ford initially planning to design a small 5-passenger SUV. But this ultimately did not fit in with the company's plan to create a bold and exciting car that would turn heads on the street. Instead, Ford's leadership decided to boost the vehicle's appeal by leveraging its most iconic brand, Mustang. Best known as a gas-guzzling muscle car, the Mustang has not traditionally been associated with going green. While the company wanted to make the brand more sustainable, it still sought to capture the core characteristics of fast, fun, and freedom that embody Mustang. Fortunately, Ford's developers got the acceleration issue right from the beginning, since electric vehicles have no problems with speed. They also made sure the new SUV-style Mustang had a head-turner by including muscular design, features, and dynamic, exciting colors. Finally, Ford wanted to appeal to a wider range of people by targeting all sorts of consumers on the go, not the typical masculine market that Mustangs sought in the past. Ford knew the changes would be controversial to Mustang loyalists, who indeed were not afraid to let their disapproval be known. The major concern was that the electric Mustang Mach-E would replace the classic line of sports cars that aficionados knew and loved. The company addressed this issue quickly by assuring fans that this was an additional. The company addressed this issue quickly to assuring. The company addressed this issue quickly by assuring fans that this was an addition to the Mustang family, not a replacement. Although the COVID-19 pandemic prevented Ford from showcasing the car at auto shows throughout the country, the company finally won over loyalists and auto critics after trials that proved the Mach-E was a true Mustang. Once the company successfully introduced its first battery electric vehicle, BEV, onto the market, the Mustang team shared its experiences with other departments at Ford, such as the team that worked on the F-150 pickup. Ford's ultimate goal is to develop a fleet of electric vehicles that appeal to North American consumers, and the Mustang Mach-E got them off to a good start. Thinking it over. 1. Why did Ford decide to rely on the Mustang brand for its new line of electric vehicles? 2. What are the steps in the new product development process? How closely did Ford follow these steps? 3. Do you think it was wise for Ford to associate the Mustang brand with an electric SUV? Why or why not? Video Case 2, McGraw-Hill Connect. The Minnesota Lynx go beyond basketball. The popularity of women's sports has experienced tremendous growth since the founding of the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, in the 1990s, thanks in no small part to the efforts of teams like the Minnesota Lynx, established in 1999 by the owner of the NBA's Minnesota Timberwolves. The Lynx entered the WNBA as an expansion team. This meant they had to commit to selling a certain number of season tickets in order to join the league. Thankfully, the community was excited and energized by the team from the get-go. The Lynx played their first game in front of 12,000 cheering fans. Page 388. The team was off and running, but their big break didn't occur until 2011, when the Lynx became major winners in the league's draft lottery. Since then, they have been recognized as one of the powerhouse teams in the WNBA. But winning isn't the only thing the Lynx care about. The team uses its platform to build and broadcast the organization's values, a perspective that goes well beyond what's happening on the court. To accomplish these goals, the Lynx developed an integrated marketing plan that emphasizes the organization's support of marginalized groups and its diverse fan base. The team's strategy revolves around the concept that it's so much more than basketball. The Lynx commit to this goal by developing relationships with brand advocates whose passion for the team keeps the atmosphere lively and attracts people to the target center. This can be challenging for teams in the WNBA since their season takes place in the summer, an unorthodox time for an indoor sport like basketball. The Lynx overcame this obstacle by using a dynamic pricing model that fluctuates according to demand, similarly to airlines and hotels. Fans at the highest level of commitment to the team. The season ticket holders get the best deals. To encourage more people to join this group, the team utilizes sales representatives to interact with the public and nurture relationships with fans. The organization's mix of promotional tools include social media, direct mail, radio and television advertising, and billboards that let people know the Lynx are the gold standard of the league. By treating their fan base like a part of the Lynx family, the team ensures that it will stay untamable on the court and united as a community off of it. Thinking it over. 1. How are the WNBA and the Minnesota Lynx working to improve social justice in women's athletics? 2. Why is it important to grow the team's season ticket member base? 3. What are the benefits and drawbacks of dynamic pricing? Why do you think the Lynx rely on it? Page 389. Notes. How to determine the ideal pricing strategy for your business. Forbes.com, February 22nd, 2023. 2. D.P. Taylor, 7 Reasons Supply and Demand Matters to Your Business. The Ascent, Fool.com, May 18th, 2022. Arena Asmundsen, Supply and Demand, Why Markets Tick, International Monetary Fund, IMF.org, accessed March 2023. 3. Amelia Lucas, Beyond Meat, Stock Falls After Conclusion of McDonald's, McPlant Test, CNBC, CNBC.com, July 28, 2022. Caroline DeNicola, The 14 Best Plant-Based Options at Popular Fast Food Chains, Tasting Table, tastingtable.com, March 16, 2023. 4. Big Boy Burger Thailand, bigboy.co.th. Accessed March 2023. Burger King Mexico, burgerking.com.mx. Accessed March 2023. Shakey's Pizza, Philippines, shakeyspizza.ph. Accessed March 2023. 5. Zippo, zippo.com. Accessed March 2023. 6. Drinkworks, Keurig.com. Accessed March 2023. Barcy's, thebarcy's.com. Accessed March 2023. Cask and Kettle, caskandkettleusa.com. Accessed March 2023. Thinsulate, 3m3m.com. Accessed March 2023. 8. Consumers care about sustainability and back it up with their wallets. McKinsey, mckinsey.com. February 6, 2023. 9. Christopher Doring, How Coca-Cola turns to its freestyle machine to create shelf-ready flavors. fooddive.org. December 15th, 2022. Coca-Cola Freestyle, coca-colafreestyle.com. Accessed March 2023. 10. Brands, Fabric Care, Procter & Gamble, pg.com. Accessed March 2023. 11. Personal Services, Bank of America, bankofamerica.com. Accessed March 2023. 12. The world's most innovative companies of 2023. Fast Company, fastcompany.com. Accessed March 2023. 13. Anna Baluch, The Pros and Cons of Online Shopping, The Balance, thebalance.com. June 13th, 2022. Kelly Tycho, How COVID Permanently Changed Shopping and Restaurants. Axios.com. March 17th, 2023. 14. Sean Ross, Capital vs. Consumer Goods. What's the difference? Investopedia, investopedia.com. Accessed March 2023. Chapter 15. Distributing Products, page 390.